Hello, YouTube! It's time for another fanfic reading. But, seeing as Chapter 7 of Guardians of Magic has yet to be released, I have had to find something to do between releases. So, I'm going to be reading a fanfiction by Starwin called Veil of Thoughts. Now, this came up in the featured section of FIM Fiction, and I saw it and it immediately interested me. I hope that you guys enjoy this fanfic as much as I have up to this point. Also, you can pretty much guess the story just by looking at the picture. So, let's get started. Veil of Thoughts by Starwin, Chapter 1. The ceiling was moving. Why was the ceiling moving? Ceilings didn't move, yet there it was, racing by overhead. The white panels were broken only by bright circular lights, orbs of whiteness shining down from above. They shouldn't be moving either. Of course, if they weren't moving, what else should they be doing? Now the walls had joined in. Maybe they didn't want to be left behind. After all, what was a ceiling without walls? Walls were white too, mostly. Every so often a door would run by. That made sense. Walls needed doors, didn't they? How else would doors keep up with the walls if they didn't run? Now the talking was moving too. No, that wasn't right. Talking didn't move. The talking was speaking. No, that wasn't right either. Why was it so hard to focus? Why was the ceiling still moving? A head moved out from the walls, face little more than an indistinct blur. Mouths opening and closing, pouring out words and colors. Blinking made it all go away. Blinking made everything a little easier to deal with. Blinking made it easier to think. What was going on? More words. Words that had something else. Not color. Meaning. That's what they had. Words that were being spoken. Words that made sense. I think she's waking up. Are you all right? Do you know who you are? Or do you know where you are? The words asked. No, the voice asked. No, that wasn't the right answer. The answer was no. Yes, answered the sound. Spoken but wrong. A sound that had come from within the outside. Yes, that was right. What happened? Asked the whisper. I'm afraid there has been an accident. Stay calm, said the voice. I am calm. Why won't you answer the question? What happened? The sound demanded. Just relax, miss. We are almost to the doctor. He will explain everything, said the voice. Okay, was the whisper. The ceiling jumped as the words stayed still. No, that wasn't right. The walls turned. The doors flew away. Then all at once, everything stopped. The ceiling stopped moving. That wasn't right. Ceilings were supposed to move, weren't they? New mumbles approached. A gray face leaned over, sharp blue eyes staring down. It spoke mumbles that drifted in and out like the wind. The voice answered in a meaningless babble. At last the noise halted. The words were silent, the voice quiet. I've never seen anything like this before, whispered the mumbles. I must contact my colleagues. Has anyone informed the princess? The answer was yes in the voice. Take her to a room. No visitors. Not until we know more. If you could just say what's wrong, this would be a lot easier. What's wrong? Shouted the sound. Odd. That time was almost like, what was the symbol? No, that wasn't right. What was the word? Yes, it had been like speaking, except not speaking at all. It was wrong. I'm not sure how to tell you this, answered the mumble. No, the doctor. The doctor, he was speaking? Yes, that was right. It seems that there has been a magical accident. It might be easier if I show you. The world moved, shifted, turned, toppled, and finally reflected. Not a wall and not a ceiling. Not a door or a window. It was self. Those were eyes, snout, mane, and ears. That's what those were. A neck with shoulders attached below. No more than that to see. Maybe there was more? No, that wasn't right. There must be more. Had to be more. But Eyes were wrong. One pink, one purple. And the main red, orange, yellow, green. That was... yes? No. That didn't taste right. Between the hair, a purple horn with a tip of light blue. That shouldn't be, but it belonged there. Wrong, but right. All of it. All of it was... one sec, quick drink. What? What? Not even the sound seemed to know. It's wrong. But why can't you see it's wrong? Like I said, there seems to have been a magical accident, said the reflected mumble. No, the doctor. He is a doctor. Do you know your name? Of course, I'm Twilight. Dash, said the sound. That was odd. I'm Rainbow... Sparkle, said the other. The mumble frowned. No, that wasn't right. The face frowned. Who am I talking to right now, miss? Answered the face. No, the doctor. He was the doctor. Why was it so hard to keep that right? No, not Dr. Hooves, by the way. Rainbow... Sparkle. That's who you're talking to, said the sound. What's happening to me? Everything is all mixed up. What is the last thing you remember? Asked the doctor. A flash, was the whisper, and breaking. The doctor nodded. What's wrong with... The words was stuck. It was struggling to get out, to get free, pushing against itself, trapped, and then at last it came free. Us! That had been wrong. No, that was right. Everything tumbled. The reflection tumbled, and there was the ground, jumping up. The ground wasn't supposed to... hurt. That word was easy. That feeling too well known to be jumbled up in the mess. The floor hurt. Are you all right? The panicked doctor asked. Yes. Half whisper, half sound. Floor was falling away once more. Unsteady legs working to get up. Why was standing so hard? The reflection. It was still there. All there. It was wrong. That was it. That made sense. It was wrong. The mirror was a liar. Please, you shouldn't be standing, the voice urged. Nurse. She was a nurse, not a voice. What was she working with the mirror against? What was she working with the mirror against? No, not that word. Pacing did not seem to help. Every angle was different. Every angle was the same. Wings. There were wings now, too. 4 hooves planted firmly on the floor. Nothing out of place there. Tail purple with a stripe of pink and mane still made of all the colors. Starburst on the left flank. Rainbow-colored lightning on the right. And the coat. That was the worst of all. It was lavender mostly, but with the slight shine of sky blue when the light hit it just right. It looked totally awesome! I better find a so awesome clip to insert right there. You are going to do that, right, editing phase me? So awesome. Anyways, the wings flapped, purple with tips of blue. The left eye was pink, right eye purple. Blinking didn't make them look normal. The left eye closed. Everything was fixed, but everything was broken. The right eye closed. Vision filled with bright, vibrant colors, and thoughts filled with unending darkness. Blinking was fine. The horn. That was worst of all. Mostly lavender with a tip of sky blue. At least that was still there. Would have to make a checklist later. See what else was missing. Very Twilight. Added that very Twilight bit in myself, by the way. Please, miss. You need to get back in bed, the doctor said. He was the doctor. The name was right. Fine, fine, answered the sound at last. We're sorry. Idiot! Mouth closed tight. The doctor gave a funny look. Getting back in bed, see? Hard to walk. Hard to climb. Legs not working like they should. Thoughts not working like they should. Is hard. Wings flap. Faster and faster. Left one harder than the right. Tumble into the bed. Hooves are helping. Putting right the mess. Right wing still flapping. It doesn't want to stop. Rolling to the side finally made it stop. Now, stay in bed this time, said the nurse. A nod. Don't trust the sound. The doctor on call at Ponyville Hospital that day went by the name of Red Cross. I was going to say something witty relating to that, but the instant I was about to say it, I forgot completely what it was going to be. Now a quick drink. He was an expert physician who specialized in magical accidents and ailments. He had trained at the Canterlot Magic Emergency Medical Center before coming to Ponyville several years ago to serve as one of its doctors. His magical injury patients were few and far between. Magic didn't often go wrong, and usually when it did, the problems were minor at best. There also weren't that many unicorns in Ponyville, but still, every so often a spell would go wrong, or an accident would happen. He was the expert who was here to care for the hurt pony. Of course, he knew just as much about normal treatment as he did magical ones. Most of the time, he helped treat everyday illnesses or sprained hooves, just like the other doctors. Up until 20 minutes ago, Dr. Red Cross had thought he had seen it all while working at the CMEMC. He was sure he had seen the worst of the worst in magical accidents. Yet he had been sitting, just where he was sitting now, when he had been proven completely wrong. The strangest magical accident he had ever seen rolled through his door. The pony had been incoherent, speaking nonsense. She had been dazed and disoriented, her motor skills severely impacted, and her speech slightly slurred. It hadn't been until he had seen both the wings and the horn that he had been truly startled, though. For a third time, he checked on the chart sitting in front of him. Name, Twilight Sparkle. Gender, mare. Kind, unicorn. Age, he ran a hoof over the details again, tracking back to kind, unicorn. Not Pegasus. Yet she'd had wings. He had seen the wings. He had watched them flap. He rubbed the hoof against his face. He had used his own magic to try and discover the cause of the problem, not really having any idea where to start. The first spells had been to detect a curse, but there had been none. The second was to check for any injuries. Again, none. Or at least he assumed so. His spell had reacted strangely, but the result was undeniable. No physical injuries. The last thing he had done was trying to identify the spell that had been cast on her. He had not been prepared for that. Whatever magic had been used on Twilight Sparkle was so strong it nearly overpowered him. That was the other thing that was bothering him. He flipped over the chart. On the back were notes about the patient. Twilight Sparkle was no ordinary unicorn. She was Princess Celestia's star pupil, and a master magic user. Unicorns of Twilight Sparkle's skills very rarely had accidents like this. But when they did, things usually went very, very bad. At least they had sent a letter to the princess the moment that Twilight Sparkle had arrived. The last thing Red Cross wanted was to have the princess's wrath come down upon him for not informing her of her prize student's condition. He scratched his chin with a hoof, still pondering the magic he had sensed around Twilight Sparkle. The question wasn't just what had happened to her, but why? Why would Twilight Sparkle try anything that could possibly lead to her current predicament? Red Cross wasn't sure if it was something he would ever have answered. Shifting the papers a little, he looked at the second set of medical records he had pulled and stared at the picture on the front of the folder. He had a hunch, a crazy, impossible idea. Yet the more he looked at the second picture, the more sense it seemed to make. The sound of racing hoof steps outside his door interrupted his ponderings. Someone was shouting. A nurse? No, there were many hoof steps. For one terrible moment, Red Cross feared that a second case of the bizarre illness was about to crash into his office. What kind of illness could do this? However, when the doors burst open, it was not at all what he was expecting. A group of 3 ponies now stood before him. And a quick drink stood before me. The one at the front was an orange earth pony, with a Stetson hat atop her head. Her name was Applejack. She was a hard-working apple farmer, who had been in for more strains than any other pony he knew. Right behind her and to the left was a white unicorn that Red Cross identified as Miss Rarity. He had only seen her for regular checkups. Between Rarity and Applejack was a nearly hidden face of Fluttershy. She had been here nearly weekly, almost always with some new and usually imaginary illness. Pfft, sounds very Fluttershy. A moment later, Nurse Gentle Touch rushed in behind them, only just now catching up. "I'm sorry, Doctor," Gentle Touch said, slightly out of breath. They just barged past me." She glared at the orange earth pony, who glared back. "I have to say, Gentle Touch is possibly one of the worst names you could give to a nurse pony." No. Don't open Steve. No. Okay. There. We're good. "This mare was giving us the runaround," the orange pony said. "Oh, damn, I didn't do my terrible, offensive Applejack accent. At least, I assume it's offensive, because I'm not good at it. Anyways, moving on," the orange pony said. "We heard Twilight's here. Where's she at?" Red Cross looked at the orange pony. He had thought this might be coming. There wasn't much that happened in Ponyville that didn't spread like wildfire through the small town. "It's all right, Gentle Touch. I can take this from here," Red Cross said to the waiting nurse. She shot one last dirty glance at Applejack before departing back to her duties. "Miss Applejack, if you could calm down a little, I would be happy to tell you what's happened to your friend." "Is she all right?" Rarity asked, looking genuinely concerned for her friend's well-being. "We were told there was some sort of accident at her home." "That does appear to be the case," Red Cross said with a nod. "We're doing everything we can to try and figure out what happened to her. As of yet, we are still not sure." "Is she going to be all right?" asked Fluttershy timidly. Despite having talked to Dr. Red Cross now literally hundreds of times, she never ceased to be shy around him. For Fluttershy, that was the case with most every pony in town. "I cannot say for certain," Red Cross answered. "For now she seems stable physically. Mentally— oh, damn it, no, my leg's falling asleep!" Okay, there, it's good enough now. One of the overhead air vents suddenly burst open with a crash that made every pony in the room jump. Fluttershy let out a squeak of terror, hiding even more behind Applejack. The grate tumbled off the pipe and fell to the floor with a thud. A moment later, a pink cotton candy-colored earth pony tumbled out of the vent and slammed into the floor, head first. The pink pony sat there, on her head, looking at the room upside down, completely unfazed by either the fall or the fact that she was standing on her head. She began to talk very fast in a sort of made-up language that no one seemed to understand. "Normal Pinkie Pie." "Hold on, I think I know what's wrong," said Applejack, moving over the pink pony. "That was not an Applejack accent. That was like a ghetto accent." That wasn't Applejack. Okay, anyways, moving on to the pink pony. With a quick flick of her hooves, she righted the pony so that her bottom was on the floor and her head was right side up. Instantly, she started making perfect sense, like being upside down had turned her words upside down. Normal Pinkie Pie. "Not in Sugar Cube Corner, not the park, not the farm, not Sugar Cube Corner," the pony rambled. "Pinkie," said Applejack, perhaps a little more loudly than she had meant, "what are you talking about? Where have you been?" "Well, my knee got twitchy, explained Pinkie Pie, "and then when my ears got all itchy, then my teeth started chattering, and before I knew what was going on, my tail went all straight." Every pony stared at her with a raised eyebrow. Pinkie had an uncanny sixth sense that could often predict events before they happened. Much like the pony herself, the specifics of what the signs were and what they meant were a mystery to every pony but her, except for what it means when a thing is about to fall. Twitchy, twitch-a-twitch!
Twitchy, twitch-a-twitch-a-twitch!
I should have inserted a clip there, but now that I've said that, it seems kind of pointless. And future me, if you can remember to do that in the editing phase, you are awesome. Come on, guys, don't you know what this means? demanded Pinkie Pie when no one answered her. It means that something really, 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 really bad happened to some pony I know. Why do you think we're at the hospital, dear? Asked Rarity as politely as she could manage. Twilight has been in some sort of horrible accident. Pinkie Pie shook her head. No, it's not about Twilight. My side isn't tingly. If not Twilight, then who? Asked Fluttershy, emerging slightly behind her new hiding place of Rarity. Rainbow Dash! Exclaimed Pinkie. Something really, really, really... We get the point, interrupted Applejack. Bad happened to Rainbow Dash. I've been looking everywhere for her. She's not in Sugar Cube Corner, not the park, not the farm. We heard this part already, too. That was... I need to work on my Applejack accent. We heard this part already, too, said Applejack. That was even worse! Oh, God. It's right at the end of the fic, too. Come on, just forget it. I'll finish it now. Just forget that I did the ghetto accent for Applejack, said Applejack, once more cutting Pinkie off. We have to find her. There we go! That's an Applejack accent! Take note, future me! If I might interject, said Dr. Redcross. The four mares looked at him, seemingly having forgotten that he was there. I think I might have a theory as to where Miss Rainbow Dash might be. And that's the end of Chapter 1. Hope you enjoyed. Guess I'll see you next time for either Gardens of Magic Chapter 7, which, according to Shirefolk, should be up on later today, considering it is now Monday. Or maybe Chapter 2 of this. We'll see. Anyways, see y'all next time.